Hello EV lovers. Welcome to another electrifying episode of EV Ki Baat, where we discuss all the latest and the greatest of the EV industry. Today, we have here with us Mr. Vikrant Maini from Vira Powertrains Limited. At Vira, he is charting the next course of growth for the Maini Group of Industries and helping India become the next EV superpower. Come join us as we discuss how Vikrant is taking Vira to new heights. Welcome to the show, Vikrant. How was your day?
Good
Did you
day.
enjoy Delhi traffic?
2 hours to get from
Oh my.
Gurgaon to here, but you know what? It's fine. I'm used to it from Bangalore also. But good to be here. Honestly, really pumped to do this. So excited to get started.
Perfect. Yeah, traffic in Delhi and Bangalore are a pain. I was there last week. Oh my God, it took us 3 hours to get to the airport.
Yeah.
I think it will always be a fight, just like Delhi Bombay. It's the new Delhi Bangalore. That okay, who has more traffic?
It was.
So to begin with, I believe you completed your educations from the UK.
I was in the US actually.
I'm so sorry.
Yes. So I did my college in the US for 4 years from 2017 to 2021. It was a small business college called Bentley University near Boston.
Okay.
So I did business administration, 4-year course completely over there, and I did like a 6-month internship post that just to get a little experience of working in the US, but almost cut that short and came back to India almost immediately.
So what inspired you to go to the US? Why US and not any other country?
It's actually a good question. Never really thought about that. I know that the course that I wanted to do was either going to be like business economics related. And then when I was making my shortlist, talking to counselors, parents and all, a lot of US colleges popped up. So I think that's just drove me to that. I know I wanted to do the SATs and go that route. So I guess, yeah, that was why US came up as an option. And then I just went with the flow.
Of course, it's a global powerhouse right now in terms of education as well as science and technology, and of course, business administration. The whole world can learn from them. So then, why come back to India?
I think I always knew in the back of my head that I wanted to be back in India. Of course, family, friends, everyone is here. You know how they say, like, home is where the heart lies. But something about India, the passion of the people over here, the energy, you know, the chaos. It's hectic, it's loud, it's noisy. I know that can get to you sometimes, but it's amazing. That's what I really missed about it. You know, like our festivals like Diwali, Holi. There's just so much color and life here in India that I just could not be away from it at all. You know, like I can go travel the country, visit other countries and nations, but home, I knew I wanted to be in India. Of course, bonus with family, friends being over here, and opportunity. You know, I genuinely believe India is on that upward trend as well. So all those factors combined just made me certain that here's where I want to be.
You mentioned you love the chaos here. Are you someone who thrives on chaos, or you like everything organized?
I guess it's a bit of a mix over here. I do not actually, to be honest, I do not thrive in chaos, but sometimes if things are too mundane and too tedious, just pure routine oriented all the time, that can get to me a little. I love being organized, structured. You know, I follow my calendars, I'm punctual, etc., etc. But I need that little bit of deviation, a little bit of change, of course, to just keep things exciting, and that also gives me energy and boosts me to be better, more productive. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, chaos is something I believe the whole country loves the chaos that we have.
Yeah.
As we were just talking about the traffic, oh my God, everyone just
Yeah.
lives in the chaos and thrives in the chaos. Okay, but then the chaos also brings out another facet of our personality, that we become a very private person sometimes when we are in chaos, and we rise to the top while being private. Are you a private person, or are you an open person for the world?
I would say mostly a majority of my personality would be more of that open, outgoing, extroverted person. Enjoy meeting people, making connections, going out there, trying new food, nightlife, etc. So I thrive and recharge when I get interaction with people, you could say. But then again, you could say it's also private because the connections that I enjoy the most are like closer family and friends, closer professional networks that I've built over time. And of course, I enjoy some of my weekends to just do absolutely nothing, binge watch a TV show, and have that quiet, relaxed, chill time as well. Because sometimes that's how I recharge batteries also. So I guess a good blend of both, but I would say more leaning towards the extroverted, outgoing side.
Okay. You like traveling?
I do. I do. I
Oh,
enjoy
that's great.
traveling.
That's
Yes.
great. Where was the last? Which was the last holiday?
So my last proper holiday outside of India was actually in Abu Dhabi. I went last year in November to watch my cousin race in his Formula 2 championship, and then I also watched the Formula 1 race. So that was my last overseas holiday.
Oh, you love Formula One.
Yes, yes, I
That's
do.
great. That's great. Which team?
McLaren.
Oh.
Yeah. Been a McLaren fan for almost like a decade.
The team has come back. The team has come back this year.
Yeah.
I'm a Ferrari fan.
Okay.
We all know how sad that is.
Yeah. But I feel like Ferrari is a team that no one can really hate. So
Oh, everybody is a Ferrari fan,
Yeah.
as Sebastian said. Everybody is a Ferrari fan.
That's true.
But yeah, 20 years.
Yeah.
Long time since we won a championship. It's been like, what, 17 odd years or something. But yeah, it's nice. But Kush,
Yes.
he is doing great this year.
Kush is having a good season. As I told you last year, I went to watch him race. So I think I got into Formula One as a sport because of both Arjun and Kush. And yeah, they've really made a name for themselves. They've made a lot of sacrifices to get where they are today. And I'm super proud to see them, do so well for themselves, competing at the international level. And, India carrying the tricolor with them. Every time they're on the podium and I see the Indian flag up there, I'm doubly proud that, it's my country plus family, my own brothers who I grow up with. So, yeah, it's amazing to watch them and I love following their races.
Absolutely. I started watching Formula One because of this. I wanted to see the Indian tricolor at the podium.
Yeah.
Now do we have the LED screens for the
Yeah.
flags? Earlier, back in the day, we used to have those flags rising from behind the grandstand. Oh, that was a feeling. And I've been waiting for that. And thanks to a lot of Indian racers who helped us bring that on the world stage.
Yes.
You never wanted to do racing?
Racing for me was never as much of a craze as it was for Arjun and Kush. I used to enjoy sports when I was a kid, but it was more like jack of all trades. I tried almost every sport that there was to try when I was young. And I would take it to a certain level. I would enjoy it. Sports for me is more recreation, enjoying with friends. Like when it gets overly competitive, I think it just kills.
Motorsports is too competitive.
Yeah.
When you're at the track, it's like, that's it. There's nothing else in the world. It's just that piece of tarmac that's there in front of you, and maybe a couple of turns ahead, and that's it. Nothing else. Do you try track riding?
I used to do a lot of go-karting with them when we were younger, but I haven't done a lot of like track racing, like professional, just go-karting. Again, as I said, recreational.
Even
and
go-karting
casual.
is lovely.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Okay. Any other sports?
Other sports that I follow avidly and I play as well is, or at least watch on TV, is football and cricket. Those are my probably two of the other bigger ones.
Please tell me you're not a Manchester City or fan.
I'm a Man United fan.
Better, much better.
Yeah.
But what do you think of their prospects this year?
This year, I've honestly fallen off. Like when I was growing up and watching Man United play about 10 years ago, we were at the top of the Premier League. Even in Europe, we're always doing well. Recently, of course, we know that we've fallen off. And I feel like we still need to rebuild and regroup. I still don't think we're good enough with the squad we have and just the whole spirit and ambience around the club that we can make it to the top. Not yet, I believe, but just because we have such a strong legacy and such a strong name in English football, that I think we'll definitely be back on the top.
But is legacy the factor which is actually holding them back? That are the new players not being able to stand up to that?
I never actually thought about it that way. Sometimes I actually used to think when we used to make very big signings, like really expensive signings, high profile players who used to come.
Oh, I remember you guys got Sanchez.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of players, him, Pogba and all with a huge price tag. I would think like is that an added pressure on them? Do they have to perform, Man United standards, all of that? That can put a little added on pressure. So I feel since like Sir Alex Ferguson retired and all these big names have come in, very few have actually performed as they should have. So a lot of manager changes, etc. So there hasn't been consistency. So
Of course,
this
when
is tough to
some
deal with.
major managerial changes happen after somebody has been at the forefront for a really long time,
Yeah.
it obviously causes a lot of change. I'm an Arsenal fan. I have seen that happen with us when Wenger left. Then, of course, the tragedy of Emery happened to us.
Yeah.
Hopefully, now this year will be our year.
No, I respect Arsenal. Honestly, like last year, of course, last couple of years, I would want them to win the Premier League over City,
Of
of
course,
course.
nobody wants City to win.
Yeah, that's true. So I've liked them because when I was growing up, also the Arsenal United rivalry was
Yeah.
at the top. Wenger, Ferguson, the teams were the top two in England. So I grew up watching both of them. So Arsenal always, I have a soft spot to Arsenal as well.
Going back to the legacy thing, is legacy not just sports? Even say, since you are in a family business, is that legacy a pressure?
I wouldn't say pressure, responsibility, yes, inherently, like our company, Maini Group, is 50 years old, started by my grandfather. Now my dad and my uncles are running the show completely. So there's definitely a responsibility because, it's 50 years, long time. We've built such a credible name in the industry and there's a lot of hard work that's gone into it, to build the foundations of where the company is at today. So it's definitely a responsibility. I take it as that, and honestly, a privilege as well. I'm definitely honored to take this legacy forward. The kind of values we've instilled into the company, and I've grown up around those values because it's the family values that's into the business today. It's very hard to set them apart. So I would say it's a responsibility and honestly a privilege to be a part of it and take it forward.
So we brushed on the topic of the legacy factor, and which brought us into the topic of the Maini Group. So if you could tell us a bit about your work at the Maini Group.
Perfect. So I work at Vira Electric Powertrains, which is under the mining group. So Vira Electric Powertrains, we do, as the name suggests, electric powertrains for mobility in India and the world tomorrow. Right now, we're focusing on the three-wheeler segment. We'll move into the micro trucks, larger trucks, and buses tomorrow. So we're here to power OEMs in their journey of electrification and be their EV technology partner. So me personally, I handle our customer accounts basically as OSM and others. So I'm the single point of contact. Any issue at all, I'm the one in touch with customers. Business development also, reaching out to new prospects for the business. I'm quite actively involved in that. And then when it comes more internally, HR, people, that just comes from being part of the management. So, and that's something that naturally comes to me and is a strength. So that's some roles I play for that also within the company.
Electric powertrains, India, which has traditionally been the follower when it comes to any automotive technology, in terms of electric vehicles and electric powertrains, we are actually rising to the top. How has Vira been working on that?
So I guess because we have that pioneering technology of Reva, which was again started by Mining Group and my uncle way back in the late 90s and early 2000s. So I think we always had that technical know-how and that real passion for EVs. We did it in 2 decades, more than 2 decades ago, when people didn't even know what EVs were, and today that's all people are talking about. So it was always ahead of its time over there. But as you said, India, usually, that's not the case. Like when we started the powertrain business back then in India, it was barely any competition. It was a seller's market. We could decide what we wanted to do, pricing, strategy, etc. And a lot of OEMs would buy from China again because of scale. It was more inexpensive, plug and play, all of that. But that has changed today in the matter of just 5 to 6 years since Vira started. I see today a lot of competition. A lot of the OEMs, the big ones, of course, also that they have their own powertrain technology, but many new ones propping up into the technology. So, and many of the OEMs are now trusting and want Indian products as well. So yeah, I definitely see a competition flaring up right now, which is a good thing. Instead of sellers market, it's become more of a buyer's market now. There's options to shop around, but that keeps companies like us on our toes, to just keep going better, keep improving, and that's how India hopefully will move to the top in this segment as well.
You mentioned the Reva. I would really like to talk about that a bit. So, when I was growing up, I grew up in Dehradun, and this friend of mine had two cars. Back in the day, having two cars was a big thing, and his second car was a Reva.
Okay.
And every weekend, we used to be like, okay, let's go to Masuri. And we took the Reva there. Charging, of course, Masuri had nothing back then.
True.
And thankfully, we could come back downhill without any assist. And it was a nice car. It was a really nice car. He still has that Reva, and whenever I go back there, I drive that, and I'm like, this is still fun. Even after all these years, it's still fun. So that was a what motor was that? That was also a Vira motor, right? I know,
mean,
silly question.
Back then, there was no Vira that existed, but it was completely our technology and stuff like that. Of course, we had suppliers. I'm not exactly sure of names because this was when I was a little kid, but the same technology, that came in through the team. And a lot of senior members who were in the team at Reva are actually leading Vira today. So it's literally the knowledge that was there and has just been grown and
And that's why I think Vira has been at the forefront of powertrain technology in India, because the first mover advantage gave you guys a lot of data and feedback, which obviously would have given you a lot to learn and a lot to bring into foreplay and make it better.
Yes.
So, what are the innovations that are happening right now?
So right now, at Vira Electric Powertrains, a lot of innovations to be honest. Definitely, there's new areas of the market that's being explored. I mean, right now it was just the OEMs, who are making their three-wheelers and all. Now we're going into heavier mobility, which is your light mini trucks, larger trucks and buses. Of course, that's part of the technology roadmap, but will take some more time. Then there's the retrofit market that's growing as well, to convert the existing ICEs into electric. So that's a very interesting space to explore as well. So that's another area, and then exports as well. Different type of vehicles which include off highway, or they call it turf vehicles abroad. This could be construction equipments, tractors, lawnmowers, golf carts, etc. So there's so much scope for electrification now that it's I feel like Vira can broaden its horizons. And one more aspect, this particular idea was incubated at Vira, and now it has a company of its own called Vira Autonomous Technologies. So we are also doing autonomous vehicles, driverless ones, which are for, again, material movement and people movement. So in factories, we have these mini robots which can pull 1 ton of weight, and a 5-ton version as well. So these are useful in your factories to move stuff around, and completely driverless, automated. And we're making the Maini buggies as well. Those in a completely new, sleeker design, futuristic look, autonomous. So we already have autonomous buggies, for example, running inside the terminal of the Bangalore airport. So big strides in that area as well. So Vira is that little technology bubble of the Maini group where a lot of innovation, a lot of exciting stuff, and sky's the limit. Sky is also not the limit. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I've seen the many group stickers on vehicles all across all airports in India. Even at the Delhi airport, I saw those the luggage cart trolleys were pulled by the many ones, and I think that has given a lot of data to you at Vira, that how to optimize the powertrain to bring out the best from the battery that you have. At the end of the day, battery technology can only go to a certain level. Beyond that, it cannot develop. The chemistry has to change. So whatever we have at the moment, we have to bring out the max out of it. And I believe that is where Vira has been succeeding. Whenever I go to my R&D guy and speak to him about the efficiency of the electric motor, I'm an IC background guy, but I'm still learning a lot of electric vehicles. And whenever I go to him to learn about it, he starts talking about how this particular motor is good in what way. And that brings a lot of pride in me that, okay, fine, this motor is there in our vehicle. That really is a great thing. Um, Continue to talk about power trains. Are you guys doing business only in India, or are you expanding it to other countries also?
So as of right now, our sales are in India, but we are already exploring export options. They're already in the pipeline. They're in the development phase where we're doing the testing and stuff here. But soon we will be exporting these parts abroad as well.
Asian or Europe?
The current customers that we're working with is mainly in Europe. That's where our first target has gone, just through sources that have come from various angles. So Europe is one focus right now, but yeah, I mean, there's opportunities that could come from anywhere in the world, and we're open to look into it.
Uh, we are all gung ho about electric vehicles. Volumes have been rising for the past years. The post pandemic boom has been great, especially in the commercial vehicle sector, where we saw the rise of e commerce leading to the rise of demand of electric vehicles, especially the three-wheeler and the two-wheeler segment. But globally, we've seen a small slowdown in the electric vehicle landscape, where prominent manufacturers like Tesla's growth has come down. Certain car makers in Europe have actually reduced their force in the electric vehicle division. Do you see this as a temporary blip, or do you see a slowdown coming in for a medium term?
Um, I'm actually not completely sure on this, especially in the global, like to predict the future and see what's going to happen. But I personally believe this is just going to be a temporary blip. I see the future being electric. A lot of companies, all the major powerhouses that we know in the automotive industry, they're all investing heavily into their EVs. They're coming up with more and more models of EVs. India, though, we already know when we see our streets, from your two-wheelers, autos, buses, your SUVs, everything are going electric in higher numbers. So I can't say for certain, but I would think it's just a temporary blip, and EVs are going to be the future. People are definitely moving in that direction, and everyone is looking that way as a future technology.
Especially because in India, the volumes are still rising, and what we have seen is that the government actually wants to focus on it. In fact, the declaration to reach at least 30% electric vehicles in by the year 2030 is going to be something which is uh, continue to pull the demand of electric vehicles higher and higher. And hopefully, once India continues on its global domination for the electric vehicle industry, the demand in India for Indian automobile makers to expand globally is also going to continue the boost. But having said all of that, the global ruler of EVs in the past 3 years has risen to be China. In fact, they have been at the top in terms of development, R&D, new technology at the forefront. How do we beat China? How can India become the next superpower over China?
Uh, Beating China, I don't know if what the future holds, of course, but I feel there's going to be a lot of focus on India, and just the situation right now in India is really poised for growth and to definitely be a strong competitor to China, no doubt. One of the major impacts is that all the global countries are now looking at a China plus one strategy, to not to be overly dependent on China and kind of diversify into other countries, their investments, their manufacturing, their supply chain. And countries that are being looked at are Turkey, Thailand, and of course, India being the strongest one. So that gives us an edge or a good opportunity, to jump in onto the world stage. I feel in the EV dimension, government policies is something that's been really supportive to the industry as well. With FAME, of course, everyone knows about FAME. Then on the supply side, tax rebates, etc., has always been something that's the PLI schemes, etc., things that are going to give us that extra boost to compete. Plus, if you look at just our global economy, the way we've put India's been on the map over the last decade with a more consistent government, and as an economy, we're just growing so fast. We have that young, energetic population as well. So we have all the resources, I would say, to give China a stiff competition and yeah, be a leader in this space. So I think these factors will definitely contribute to push us forward.
But I'll continue to be on the skepticism boat. India got a similar opportunity sometime back, just before the pandemic, when we saw certain electronic good manufacturers, including cell phone manufacturers, move out from China and also introduce other nations as a development stage manufacturing base. We saw countries like Vietnam rising to the occasion. Would how do you believe this time India will win? How do you believe that India can do it this time?
I guess maybe you just learn from the mistake or from the past, from before. You know, that there's been times when opportunities come and they pass up. But I feel like over here, all the factors are just really coming together and merging together. So yeah, I just believe that the mix is right now. So uh, let's hope it can really catapult us to another level.
Absolutely. And of course, with companies like Vira, which has been around for decades now, it can build on that information, build on that technological background, build on the years and years of R&D and data, and give stiff competition to and rise as probably an alternate to the global powerhouse that has been in our neighboring nation. Can we be India as a manufacturing hub and make EVs from India to the world?
Oh, 100%. I definitely see the potential of that. To start off, I would say the markets where we are a leader and a powerhouse globally would be the two-wheelers and three-wheelers just by sheer volume. And that's something that's suited to the needs of India. And EVs in this area is also taking off. As we know, we see it on our streets every day. So the exports in this area has already been going to markets abroad, which have similar conditions or similar requirements. Let's say for these kind of vehicles, you have these in Southeast Asia, parts of Africa, Latin America. So that's where we already export two-wheelers and three-wheelers. So I feel like once the EV numbers rise, there's already I know there's already exports going to these countries. So in smaller quantities from India, but as the volume rises, I see those EVs spreading in these two segments first globally. And I don't see no reason why. I mean, our big boys in India like Tata and Mahindra also investing a lot into their EV projects, and they honestly coming out with amazing cars with great tech, great quality, robust products. So I don't see why they shouldn't be able to compete on the global stage as well.
You mentioned Southeast Asia and Africa. So, who do you think is going to be the next volume churner? ASEAN or the dark horse Africa?
I would just say, in terms of volumes and numbers, it's been countries like Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines. So I would say ASEAN would be the bigger one, but Africa certainly has potential in this area as well.
Perfect, perfect. Yes, Africa has been the standing pillar in the possible future growth of our planet's economy, and we really hope that not just Africa, the entire world starts switching more towards electric and introduce and brings in a sustainable way of living life. So that's it for today, guys. It was a very lovely discussion today. It was a thank you for coming here at EVK Baat, and we would hopefully again meet soon and discuss about probably the amazing new products that is coming out of Vira.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.